All I want to know is, did you miss me? Of course you did. Now, Bankhead bounce you. This my pinky, this my thumb. Bankhead bounce. Kick. Girl, don't mind me, child. I'm over here tripping. Listen, y'all came here for a quick chat, so I'm gonna give you guys a piece of a quick chat. We got a few things we got to get into, so make sure you're coming into the video. You know I'm gonna ask for my likes. Thank you, and also be sure to subscribe to the channel. So the things I want to get into is Kim Zolciak. And I find it really crazy that she has her own divorce stuff going on. And she's recently been subpoenaed to be a part of somebody else's divorce because of money she may or may not have received because the wife has some questions. And that's really, really interesting. And we'll tap into that. We also have to talk about Sweet Tea and, her supporting Nneka so much that it seems like she's speaking on Wendy in not such a positive light. I'm going to tell y'all right now, I'm still rocking with Dr. Wendy. Girl, get me later. Like I said, Dr. Wendy is innocent until proven guilty. I understand that everything is looking real slim, but I'm still rocking with my girl for now. Girl, get me later. We also got to talk about Tamara Judge, who has just a little piece to say about Dr. Wendy. We'll get into that. Also got to talk about Tammy Roman and how she shows up when it comes to her daughter that I'm not in full support of. And then we'll also get into Mario and how he showed his R's. Girl, it's a lot. Just like up the video. Support your girl. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the people that's over there on the Patreon too. Love you guys down. All right. Thank you guys so much for being here. You could be anywhere y'all want to be here with me. And I appreciate y'all being here with me. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into it. First things first, I want us to get into Kim Zolciak. There may be some people that may not know who she is, and she is a former housewife, okay, of Real Housewives of Atlanta. And back in the day when Kim was a part of Real Housewives, she would always let us know that she was dating. Who was it? Was it like Big Papa or something like that? Like she would be dating a man that we could never see, that a lot of us had already believed he probably was married to some child. Okay. It was a lot of stuff out there. Okay. About Kim. We know for a fact that she was dating somebody. Now, I don't know if this guy that this woman is trying to subpoena her for has anything to do with that particular man, but we gonna check out Us Weekly and see what they have to say about this. But she's been working and going through her own divorce from her husband Croy, who she has quite a few children with. I think they have like 4 kids or something, 4 or 5 together. So when I first saw the story about a divorce, I was thinking this had something to do with Croy. But when I saw $100 million, I said, well, I know they've been having some financial issues. But as I kept reading, it said someone else's wife. And I said, wait a minute. So we're going to get into this. They're saying Kim Zolciak subpoenaed in $100 million divorce by man's estranged wife, demanding answers over gifts. This is some messy stuff here. They're saying Kim Zolciak was subpoenaed, right? They're saying that the wife has some questions for her. On September 30th, court documents were filed that showed Zolciak was served with a subpoena demanding she appear for a deposition as part of a man named Kyle Malwitz's divorce. Oh my God. What you got going on? I hope that these gifts were not during the time that you were married to Croy. Now, maybe it could have been during the divorce or something. Girl, that's crazy. And if you were receiving gifts from this man, Kim, I'm going to tell you right now, if you were receiving gifts from this man and then you also took your daughter's money too, I just hope this happened before her and Croy got together. This is crazy. Let me tell y'all, if y'all want to pick the cameras up on Kim Zolciak, do what you do. I'm just not interested in seeing her on Real Housewives of Atlanta. That's just for me. All right. Give her show back or something, maybe. Now, they go on to say Malwitz filed for a divorce from his wife, Jillian Green, in March. The paperwork says Zolciak was served at the parking lot of a high school in Georgia. Now, a lawyer for Zolciak responded to a request that she appear for a deposition on October 15th and bring certain documents and communications. Now, Zolciak opposed the request that she be forced to appear. She called the subpoena unreasonable, oppressive, she says, and intended to annoy and embarrass her. Well, subpoenas aren't always supposed to make you appear in the best light, right? If you're attached to this situation and you think that you're not going to be able to show up because you feel like it's unreasonable, oppressive, and intended to annoy and embarrass you, how do you think the wife feels? Like, do she hear herself? Like, ma'am, how do you think the wife feels? You don't think she's embarrassed considering the fact that her husband filed for the divorce from her? You don't think the wife is embarrassed knowing that her husband probably was stepping out and sharing their money with other women or something? Like, you don't think she was annoyed? And you over here talking about how it's unreasonable and oppressive for you. My question is, like, did you take the money? And if you did, right, if you had anything to do with the gifts, and it sounds like the wife is asking about certain gifts, if things were gifted to you, you don't think that was unreasonable? Like, come on, that's crazy. So the subpoena asks that Zolciak turn over all communications with Maoist, any communications between Zolciak and another third party regarding payment for services or communications concerning Maoist, Green, their children, or the divorce. So they want information on that too. So any communications or anything y'all talked about is for him divorcing his wife, their children, and these people got kids together, or the divorce. She needs to present all that information. She also asks for any documents regarding gifts from Maoist or any business he owns has given her. So if he owns a business, like let's say it's a massage parlor, and they gave some money or gifted something to her, Miss Man want that information. Girl, this is Kim. 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 Girl, what you done went and got yourself caught up in? You have enough trouble going on with your own divorce. Now you about to go be a part of somebody else's. Now they're saying Green also requested any and all documents regarding or pertaining to your financial relationship with Kyle Maoist, including but not limited to gifts given or received from Kyle, expenses paid on your behalf by Mr. Maoist, or any business in which he is connected, monies loaned to you and monies paid to you by Mr. Maoist, or any businesses with which he is connected. Now, the subpoena also demanded Zolciak turn over documents regarding travel with Maoist, including the travel arrangements, itinerary, where they stayed, and the payment of all expenses associated with said travel. Girl. Kim, what you got going on, love? This is a messy situation, and I need to know more details about when did this happen? Was this before she met Croy? Was this while she was with Croy? Mr. Maoist, it probably was cheaper to keep her potentially, because Miss Mama finna get paid. As she confirms that you was over there messing around on her, as she also has your children, and with her having your children and you being the breadwinner, I wouldn't be surprised if Miss Mama's wasn't working. So you owe her spousal support. You owe her pay me for my pain, okay? Pay me for my time, and you can say the bullshit because everything is mine type of stuff. And then, yeah, child support, spousal support, and then the embarrassment of it all. Now they're saying Green also wanted Zolciak to turn over communications with third parties and any and all documents relating to any and all contact between Zolciak's estranged husband, Croy, and Maoist. So that means that this man, Mr. Maoist, was around when you was with Croy. And Croy and him likely done had an exchange of words, which probably resulted in the divorce that y'all do got. And this is just my opinion, not a fact, but huh? Now listen, Kyle Malwick's attorney, he responded and said, we're not going to litigate the facts surrounding our client's divorce case outside of the applicable legal proceedings. We encourage you to review the pleadings we have filed on our client's behalf, which accurately represent our client's position relating to this matter. As to Miss Kim Zolciak, Miss Malwick's decision to involve her in the divorce case is highly unnecessary, as any relationship our client may have had with her only began after the parties' separation. I do not believe that. I do not believe that. But that's just my opinion. Okay. That is not a fact. Okay. But for me, my opinion, I think they probably been talking. Probably been talking. Okay. And even if it happened after they separated, we don't know what that man probably was telling the wife. But then also, are you trying to say that he filed for a divorce? Well, when did they separate? Because he filed for the divorce in March, but when did they separate? And even though Kim and her husband have been going through a divorce about a year or 2 years at this point, obviously her and Croy, maybe they've been trying to figure it out, because why would Croy and Malwitz need to even have some type of conversation with each other? Oh, Kim. Kim. That's a very messy situation you found yourself in, girl. And now you don't want to go because it's unreasonable, oppressive. aimed to annoy and embarrass you, girl, go away from us with this. Okay, you still gonna be up in that courtroom and you still gonna have to testify and give your little pieces. It is what it is. Girl, and you better hope that Croy don't try to use that against you too, that you was stepping out on him. But girl, that's a mess there, ain't it? Kim. Well, good luck. All right. So that's what's going on with Miss Zolciak, honey. Let us hop over here into Real Housewives of Potomac land / Married to Medicine. So you guys know that Dr. Wendy, unfortunately, her and her husband were arrested for fraud, insurance fraud, right? They have over 30 plus charges. Last time I said 30,000, I was speaking a bit too fast. Shout out to the people that did correct me in the comments, or at least called attention to that in the comments. It's 30 plus. I believe it could be around like 33, but I just say 30 plus charges at this time. Eddie does have more charges than Wendy, but I'm still rocking with with at least Dr. Wendy Osefo right now. Like I girl, chew me up later, honey. I'm still rocking with Dr. Wendy Osefo. I don't really like some of the attention that people. I mean, it's not the attention. Like they kind of brought this on themselves a bit, but I just feel like a lot of people don't really like Dr. Wendy, so they're gonna go in and make it seem like she's the worst, that she should be fired and get rid of her and this and that. And it's like, if y'all act like that, I honestly feel like you anti-black and you racist. That's just how I feel, because women have been on this platform and have done worse. I hope that they did not snatch up her wife swap episode, but therefore just moved it back potentially as they figured some stuff out. Maybe it was some edits and stuff that they needed to make with her episode. I don't know. But I just don't think that's fair to me when I've seen people be able to leave this show, go do their time, and then return. If Jen Shaw is not able to return to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's likely because of some drama and some negative things she may have said. Okay, probably about Andy or something, right? That may be why she's likely not going to return. Even though she said they smooth things over, maybe give them some years and he might be open to bringing her back or something. Who knows? But her time is done. Okay. So yeah, I don't think that's fair, because if Wendy hasn't done anything to them, then that's that's her. She ain't do nothing to y'all, but yeah, they may have not made such a great decision and tried to, max out this insurance situation. It is, according to the police, they are trying to say that they staged this whole break-in in an effort to try to get the money. So just the whole scheme of it all, it is bad. It is bad. But as I'm watching Real Housewives of Potomac, I'm not gonna hold y'all. I'm likely gonna be rocking with Dr. Wendy. So just like, girl, just like the video, honey, and be mad at me a little later, okay? But I want to talk about Sweet Tea. Well, actually, before we get into that, I want to play Tamra Judge, because Tamra Judge tried to allude to the fact that she's already heard some stuff, and that was based on what some people in the neighborhood may have told her about Wendy. So let us go ahead and hop over here to this TikTok where she talks about it. So let's get into it.
So her neighbor slid into my DM. Basically, that they all got notices on their front door or in their mailbox that there had been a burglary, and it was at the, Wendy and Eddie's house. The whole entire neighborhood was thinking, this is insurance fraud.
Really?
But they all thought something was kind of shady about it.
Something was fishy.
Fishy. Like
Stacey's breath.
You know, I was going to say that. So,
all right, y'all. So that is what she said. Okay, that's what Miss Tamra Judge said. Like, she already had some inside tea that the people in the neighborhood already knew that Wendy was capping. I mean, especially if the neighborhood is like a gated community, like, how did that happen? I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that the police did go into the home. They did not notice anything out of place. There were not certain factors that were taking place on the Ring camera. Now, shout out to Giorgio Says, because he had me hollering the other day when he tried to highlight the fact that maybe the Wi-Fi went off and the Wi-Fi may not have caught the burglary or something. Now, when I think about these movies, when people are breaking into homes, you know what? There could have been some type of person that know how to finesse technology or something. That's possible. I don't know. But I mean, it doesn't look good from the police's perspective, but until we get Wendy and her team's perspective, then we may be able to cancel out some of the things that the police are saying or not. All right. But I just wanted to highlight that. But I want us to get back over here because I want to talk about Nneka, right? So recently, once all of this news came out about Dr. Wendy, everyone felt like it was a time for Nneka to be vindicated of some fashion. And I mean, what we vindicating Nneka for? Like, what are we like? What are we like? I'm confused. Why? Because Wendy didn't want to be affiliated with her because Nneka was saying one thing and doing another, and then Nneka was saying that Wendy was doing one thing and doing another. Like, I'm just so confused. All right. So you have some previous housewives, or shall I say, Bravo affiliates that got onto social media and they got under her post and wanted to give her all of this support. Cookie, and Cookie is the woman that we just saw sit with Ashley and others on Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, see, Cookie, you must got a lot of money, girl, because I feel like you don't be having room to talk either. But it must be the money, honey. So she says, and all her jewelry is accounted for. My Nneka boo. Then you got Sweet Tea. You're proof that no weapon formed against you shall prosper. They tried to dim the light, but God had other plans. Keep living beautifully, sis. My turn coming soon. Child. Then you got Anne Marie. She talk about some when you actually live the lifestyle. Vindication is so beautiful. What are we vindicating her about? I just want to know. Okay, maybe I forgot some things that season. Leave it down below. Okay, I'm not even gonna get into what Dr. Alicia talking about. Let's keep going. All right, so you got the housewives in her comments hyping her up, but Sweet Tea went as far as to put a video up. Okay, shout out to Mad Beefs over here on Twitter where we're getting this video from. They're saying Sweet Tea says Wendy Osefo is receiving karma for how she threatens Nneka. Well, how did she threaten the lady? How did she threaten her when Nneka was trying to say something about Wendy Mama doing some type of voodoo or whatever it was? It's like, girl, what? I'm genuinely confused. Clear it up for me in the comments, but I know y'all gonna do that anyway because that's just how y'all is. Let's go ahead and get into what Miss Girl had to say here. Cause child, please.
Kim Power pointed out comments under Nneka's post implying Wendy's situation was vindication. Is it to you? I don't know. I can't say there's vindication about. I just felt like Nneka she wasn't treated fairly, especially being a new seasoner. I know what it's like, and people gotta be careful when they boast and they brag about what they have when they really don't have it. And so a lot of
I'm confused about what she boasted and bragged about. I'm sorry. I can't rock with this. I'm sorry. Boasted and bragged about what, love? What did she boast and brag about? Her 4 degrees that she actually does have?
y'all don't know, a lot of these Bravo characters, a lot of people, they're not really living that lifestyle.
Now that I
They're
can
not.
believe.
It's just,
I
of
can
course,
believe
you
that.
get addicted to the
I believe
fame,
it.
and some of these people that's been on these shows, they have real jobs and all that, but they get addicted to the fame.
That's
And,
true too.
She that's
not
why I
lying.
said fame is one hell of a drug. I always worked my job. I always worked, I was a government contractor for throughout the time that I spent on the show, and everyone's like, "Oh, you're gonna quit your job and this and that," and they try to lead with the glitz and the glam and look what I have and all that, and like, "Oh, you're still in so and so's old house," but it doesn't really bother me because like I'm winning, like I don't have no bills to pay, I still have my job at the end of the day, and I don't care. Like certain things don't really bother me when you boast about what you have, purses, shoes, bag. It just doesn't do it for me. So, I just value financial freedom, and I just value just like traveling, seeing new places. Hence, my sister, she just moved to South Africa. I'm actually looking into.
Oh. Now I could get what that sister. Sister said I done got the hell out of Dodge. BIT, I done moved to girl, I ain't mad at you. I'm not mad at you.
Looking into places in China and also Thailand. And I'm not only at South Africa because my sister's already there, but we just value different things. And it's just like you see people buying stuff.
T, you really think Dr. Greg is finna let y'all relocate to China and Thailand? If that was the case, I truly believe you'll be going by yourself. I think he has made a staple for himself here. I don't think he's at a place where he wants to relearn everything or whatever, or thrust himself into that medical space over there. He probably gonna have to get further credentials in that area just to even work. So I don't know. It sound good. It sound good, but y'all probably researching and stuff. But I don't really see that. I don't see that. But let's keep going.
Things back. People actually do that. You know, I have a moral compass. I'm not going to do something like that, and I don't really give a crap. You know, I don't care. I don't have to wear the labels and all that kind of stuff. To me, whenever your labels speak louder than you, then to me that's ghetto to me. Yep. Hey, I thought it was more of, hey, you know, 'cause it could be karma. You know what I'm saying? You let that bad energy out, it's bound to come back to you. I mean, it happens. Karma happens to everybody. So that's my
When you
take.
least expect it too, sometimes like, people get real comfortable. Not saying like, I don't wish nothing bad on anybody, but sometimes people just do it to themselves. They just do it to
Yep.
themselves. And so I'm just saying, like, not to say constantly that she was like, I don't want to say that she was vindicated, but when you do people wrong,
Well, you said she was vindicated in the message. Now you saying she not vindicated?
look what happened. So you got to
Child.
be careful when you mess with God's children. See, you can't continue to pick on people, disrespect them, like
Let me tell you what y'all be getting me. When y'all be thinking that only one person in the situation is God's child.
things will come to light eventually. And so, like I said, like you can't really wish bad on people. You just gotta allow God do his work and get out the way. That's not for you to do. That's for him to do. So, I really hope that she does come out of that situation, and maybe learn from it. Learn from the situation. That's not good, but hey, people will learn. You gonna learn today.
All right. So y'all just heard what Miss Ma'am had to say, Miss Sweet Tea. Okay. Some stuff I don't fully disagree with her on though. I don't fully disagree with her on. I think the biggest thing for me was just like the vindication of Nneka, and I was just so confused by why is she being vindicated. I am confused, and how is this really um Wendy's karma, right? I don't really think Wendy was like boastful. To me, I feel like the most boastful thing she's done was talk about her degrees. I got 4 degrees. I got 4 degrees. And it's like, yeah, she could talk about that because she actually possesses that. But I do think there was an element of Wendy that wanted to be, that may have gotten caught up in the fame, right? And wanted to have that housewives lifestyle. And it doesn't mean that she didn't kind of already have that, because as far as her financial struggles, I feel like that is still being debated. Like, we don't know that to be actual true. They could have potentially already had 400,000 in the bank, living fine, right? But decided, that they wanted to, I don't know, maybe concoct a scheme. I don't know if their house got robbed or not, because again, this is all alleged. But according to the police, the house didn't get robbed. So I don't know. Maybe let's not act like millionaires are not greedy. Let's not act like billionaires also are not greedy. Let's not act like thousandaires are not greedy. Let's not act like we don't have scammers actually running this country. All right. And I'm not just talking about the POTUS, okay? The POTUS. I'm not just talking about that one. It's about a lot of them. Okay. So don't be acting like they ain't being out here pulling scams and schemes and all this other, you know what I'm saying? So she could have had bread in the bank, but then also wanted to be a little greedy. I think that greed be chewing on people's neck bone, okay? It'll chew so hard that you're going to fuck around and bleed out. And that is where we are right now, right? Where there's a piece of a bleed out when it comes to Dr. Wendy in this situation, okay? So, I mean, girl, I hate it for her. I do, but I'm a rock with her as far as this show is, as it pertains to the television show. I'm team Wendy, period. Okay, but yeah. All right, y'all. So next up, what I want us to get into real quick is Mario. All right, let us hop over here and touch on Mario, because I feel like Mario was doing too damn much for me. Okay, Mario was doing a bit too much on the stage, and we have to talk about it. So give me 1 second. So Mario was performing at I believe a fair or something like that, or a festival like out there in California. And with him performing out there in California, there ended up being like this camera person that was on stage with him. And as Mario was trying to sing his "Braid My Hair," he got a little agitated and decided to kind of like cuss the cameraman out. And I want y'all to go ahead and check this out. So let's get into it.
Man, you gotta get the fuck off the stage, dog. Get off the stage.
Look at this.
Get off the stage, nigga. Get off the stage.
So that is Mario cussing the guy out. But what I wanted y'all to see in the beginning, I don't know if he was supposed to be there or not, but I'm going to pause right here. You see, there is a guy in the very back in the black. He has a camera too. So I'm confused. Like, now keep in mind, the guy is in the back. So I don't know if this is Mario's camera person. I don't know if this guy knew he wasn't supposed to be all on the stage, so he took that position in the back. Or, meaning that Mario was right. Like, hey, you should not be on this stage. Get off the stage, because you're in my way. Or get off the stage because you're not one of my people. I'm not sure if it's that, or I don't know what Mario had going on, but it does look like there's a cameraman already back there. But I don't know if that was the fairs person and Mario understood it, so he didn't say anything to him. He was aware that he was going to be on the stage. I don't know what was going on. Or did you just want to say something to him because the other guy on the stage, so why is it a problem that he's on the stage? Girl, it's a lie. So Mario decides to take to social media. This is what he had to say to address it. He says, people are misinformed about the Fresno situation. No one told us a cameraman was shooting my set. He says, I got to the show 10 minutes before my performance and went on stage. And I'm kind of like, why are you getting to the show 10 minutes before your performance? So what if somebody told him that it was okay for him to be on that stage? But he says people are misinformed about the Fresno situation. No one told us a cameraman was shooting my set. I got to the show 10 minutes before my performance and went on stage. Multiple times while seeing the cameraman through my peripheral, I got distracted. And one time and it's like, you just got on stage, so how did you get distracted? Now, granted, what we just saw was him coming into a song, right? So it doesn't mean that this was his first song. Mario could have did maybe 3 songs before the guy actually, before he got irritated. Like, yo, you got to get out my way. You got to get off the stage because you're filming in my walkway. If you're going to film around me in the back or whatever, don't be in my walkway. So I don't know. I just know that this is the start of Braid My Hair. And as he's preparing to sing Braid My Hair, he's yelling at the guy, telling him to get off the stage. Okay. Now, let's keep going. He says, multiple times while seeing the cameraman through my peripheral, I got distracted and one time almost tripped over speaker trying to make sure I'm not walking in the same direction as him. He was too far downstage. Gotcha. And a cameraman is not supposed to be that far down unless he's with you and shooting you that close for a reason. It really can throw you off. He says, in the midst of all of that, while walking backstage, right, he says, I got frustrated and that's when I said what I said. Okay. So I want y'all to see he could have a point a bit, but let me finish, okay? Because the other guy is in the back out of his peripheral. This guy is too far down the stage based on what Mario is saying. So then he goes on to say, yo, you got to get the fuck off the stage. That's when I said that. He says, I will take accountability for being 0 to 100. Right? He says type of person. And this is why I stay out of the way most of the time. LOL. I never want one recorded incident to wipe away the work I've done as a person. To stay out of y'all mouths and out of the blogs. Okay. He says I performed under all types of circumstances. I am very professional. I'm a very professional person through and through. Anybody who works with me knows that. He says to the cameraman, you got caught in the crossfire, my boy. I'm sorry. You had to experience that. It was nothing personal. You're welcome to come and shoot me on my tour. It will be nothing but us tour, and we can do it the right way. To the fans who are triggered, I love you. To you bots, F you. All right. Now, for me, I don't know if the cameraman will take him up on that offer, but I do feel like the apology was backhanded in my personal. I understand you trying to explain the situation, but I also feel like you should have showed your face on camera and not just send this message out, because sometimes the tone can be mistaken, right? And for me, I just feel like everything that you did was so unnecessary. And you didn't have to talk to him like that because you were getting frustrated. And you contradict yourself when you say, oh, I'm a person that has performed under all type of circumstances. Well, if you have and you've kept it professional up until this point, you need to continue to keep it professional. I don't know if you think that after you snapped on Omarion during the verses that you felt like that behavior was what was acceptable for us, because it's a kiki. And let me tell y'all, annually I go back and watch their whole verses and get my damn life the way Mario was eating down on Mario. However, I don't like that. And honestly, for me, Mario, I feel like you displayed a man that do not know how to control his emotions just a bit. If you're frustrated, you should have said, hey, yo, man. And granted, maybe he said that earlier on and we didn't see the footage, but I'm going to say that you didn't say it because I haven't seen the footage. What I did see was you automatically saying, hey, man, you got to get the fuck off the stage. All you had to do was say, hey, bro, can you go to the back of the stage? Hey, man, can you clear the stage out? You're in my pathway. You know what I'm saying? I think he would have understood that. He would have got out the way. Matter of fact, when you said it to him the first time, he went to the back. You said, get off the stage. So why did you tell him to get completely off the stage? Now, I want to understand a little bit of the frustration, because if the boy goes to the back of the stage, it is kind of like, well, you already knew you should have been back there anyway. Why did you come all the way up here? Right? Did you think because it's a fair when nobody gonna say nothing? But at the same time, there could be some truth to what Mario is saying, but it's also about how you handle the situation. And I feel like you embarrassed him. And instead of making this performance and this experience great for the people that are watching you and enjoyed your performance or whatever, enjoy you as an artist come out, I feel like you kind of ruined it. What if it was some people that was just now getting introduced to you and you over here got an attitude? Like, it's kind of like, he'll turn off. I don't like that. Like, he didn't even have to do that, man, like that. Like, we don't be liking all of that. Okay. And this is a fair. This is not your actual set. This is not your tour. And you're selling a tour. So why would you want to go on and talk to somebody like that? Like, I mean, y'all may rock with it and that's fine. To each his own, to each his personal. However, for me, I don't like this. And I feel like you've been doing stuff this past year or so that has been chipping away. I'm not going to say chipping away at your legacy, but it's been chipping away at your brand is what I'll say. It's been chipping away at your brand, and I'm just like cringing on the inside, right? Because I think at one point you were supporting Tory. Something else happened where I think he did something else. I think it was a Tory song, and it was some in between that. Then you have the situation with you having this child with the baby mama that's not black. But I don't know. Whatever you choose, I don't care what y'all choose. I just ask that y'all don't disrespect the race that you are, okay? The race that the people, your family is. Like, be who you want to be. I don't give a damn. Okay, just don't disrespect the people that you come from. Is all that I'm saying. All right, unless they do something that may need to be disrespected, but that's on that one person, not the entire, group or whatever. Right? Do what you do, because that girl could be mixed. I don't know. It's a lot of mixed people walking around here looking like they white. So I don't know, or looking like they something else. I don't know what she is. He's happy. Go do that. Be happy with that. All right. I haven't heard of Mario disrespecting women. For me to be that upset with who he chooses to be with in his life, like, that's his life. Okay, so if you got all these black women that go out and feel like, I'm not finna date y'all black men, I'm finna go date me a Middle Eastern person, I'm gonna go and date me somebody that's Asian. Y'all got every right to date who y'all wanna date. I don't know why people get so upset about this shit, for real. I don't get upset about that. It be the disrespect that y'all have towards those people, and I haven't necessarily seen Mario do that, right? But except for that Tory situation. But as far as him doing a song, I think he did a song with Tory or something. But outside of that. Okay. Outside of that, you was not right in this situation. And I do feel like you could have given this man a better apology. I think that you should hop in his DMs and y'all sort this out. If he, and keep in mind, this guy has a right to accept and to not accept your apology, sir. And your offer to go on tour with him. He might, if he's open, because it's only going to make it's only going to build up what he's trying to do. So for you to offer that opportunity to him, but don't play him on some, you're going to have to figure out how you get into every state. You need to pay for at least 5 of them. At least pay for a little something. Let him get on your bus or something. Pay for a little something, because they'll offer you something and then say, oh, well, this is going to be at your expense. Your travel is at your own expense. Knowing not everybody may have the finances to be able to travel, but to us, it may appear like, oh, well, he offered him an opportunity, but yeah, behind the scenes, you also playing on his top by saying, yeah, but everything going to be on you. Like, the cost of stuff is on you. You know what I'm saying? And we may not know that part. So I think he needs to, like, work on that. But I just had to call that out because I did not like it. And that's just where we are. Now we're gonna get into a snippet, a little piece with Tammy Roman and her daughter sitting down with Burruss Banter. Okay, shout out to Burruss Banter, honey. I'm liking this, and the reason why I'm liking this platform that Kandi has done with Riley is because I feel like we don't hear a lot from Riley, right? Riley don't really talk a lot. You know, my girl was over there on the Next Gen show. I didn't really watch that. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't get into it. Okay, I do know there was some little controversy that was happening with Riley, but I did not watch the show. But I like that we get to hear more of Riley's opinions because, like, we watched Riley when she was a kid growing up. Okay, Riley was getting on my nerves just like any other kid when they a kid, right? But she has grown up, very intelligent young woman. Okay, and that's my little birthday twin. Okay, my little birthday, like we got the same birthday, my little twin. So I like that. I want to hear her perspective on situations, especially as a younger kid. And I love that she's doing this with her mom because I feel like it gives a balance, right? Of that younger perspective and then that older perspective. So I like that. So to see this mom and daughter sit across from another mom and daughter, baby, this was a key. I just sped up the audio because it's 8 minutes long and I want to get through most of it, so I can move on to the next thing that I have on my agenda today. So we're going to go ahead and get into this. At this time, please be sure to like up the video if you have yet to like it up, okay? So let us check out what these ladies had to say.
Graduating, right? Getting my degree, and
She can't be in the
she can't be. Let me say this: I'm graduating, right? Getting my degree, and
She can't be in the
she can't be there. Do you get what I'm saying? My girlfriend can't be there.
Why?
Exactly. There's moments that my
Wait,
people have.
hold on,
Thank you. Let's
Tammy.
speak about it. If we're gonna speak about it. Let's
Why
speak about
she can't be
it. And I knew not to even tell. I told her, but she knew. She was like, okay, I can't be
I got a
there.
question.
Congrats.
With your other daughter,
Oh.
she's straight, right?
Uh-huh.
Her boyfriend's in the past. She's never been allowed to bring her boyfriends around.
She would be.
She would be.
She would be.
And why is
Thank
what's the
you.
difference?
because
Thank you. I love it. Now we're talking. What you did? You leaned in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk
I'm
about
leaning
it.
in. I'm leaning in.
Like, that was fair.
Because there's something called confirmation bias, and when people think like you think or appear to be how you are, you're more drawn to those type of people. So my daughter is a heterosexual female. Confirmation bias allows me to accept whatever situation she's presenting versus not really understanding this moment. And so I got to take a step back and figure out how it works for me and how I can be comfortable in that moment. Because there's something called mental health that we have to be concerned about, and I got to be concerned about mine. Even though I'm trying to walk with her and love her, I still got to do what's right for me as well.
Okay, but you're not graduating. She is. So
She's
it's not really
graduating.
about your life. Okay, about
So to make sure that you feel the relationship is going to be lasting before you introduce them to me, because I become involved in your situation and your life.
Wait, then I have a question. So how long do you want to wait to meet them? Because what if you meet them and you actually don't like them, or you actually do like them? Maybe you could give some wisdom on what you actually think.
Send me a picture. I don't need to meet. I can tell because I've been around a long time. I've been around a long time. Send me a picture and I'll tell you, get rid of that one. I know instantly. It's called wisdom. It's called discernment. Action.
I mean,
I think she should be okay for her to come.
No, she's not coming.
She should have to be in a family picture.
Ain't nobody asked you for your opinion on what's happening over here. She's not coming. Okay? That's all it is to it. I don't care if I feel a certain type of way about it. I just have to make sure what
That's what I deal with.
I gotta make sure that person is going to be around before they start sharing special moments with the family that I'm gonna impart into my memory bank. This girl's out here, and then now 6 months later, y'all ain't together, and you don't something happened that it ain't right. I don't want that. I don't need to be a part of that.
Okay, so at what point?
Thank you, Riley.
At what point is it gonna be okay for her to
exactly.
meet you?
When is
be
it
around?
okay? We got Thanksgiving coming up. She
She ain't coming to Thanksgiving.
That'll be like a year, right?
No, exactly. That's a year. That's a year for me, pretty much.
Yeah. Like,
So
they got a date.
we do our New Year's trip.
They got
She
me a
cooking.
cake.
It's fried turkey for the people that we already knew.
So what's the problem?
That's
Because before you said
crazy.
it wasn't really
Fried.
about her lifestyle. It was about the person
and the timing.
in this situation. You're not even allowing yourself to get to know the person.
No, I will eventually get to know the person once I feel like the relationship is lasting, that they understand what it takes to be in a committed
Who are you
relationship.
to tell us how long that's going to take? Like, who are you in our relationship?
I know that's right.
How long that's going to take?
Listen, if y'all decide or y'all feel y'all come to some place of resolve where
Right.
8 months from now we know
Right.
we're going to be together,
That's what I meant.
then let me see it last a year and a half, 2 years.
Okay.
Let me see it, evolve into something where I know the commitment and the covenant is real. So between y'all.
My only thing would be, right, and we don't harp on this, but do you realize how many moments that you're missing out in my life of someone that I consider special because you're not accepting
The moments that I want to have with you, I'm still having those moments.
and you put me in a position to pick, right? But that's okay.
Well,
I'm always choosing.
listen, I'm picking every day. I'm picking every day.
Yeah, these are interesting takes.
What is going on in your
So
brain?
Riley, I mean, my thoughts is, one, I don't believe in coming out. I feel like that's a weird concept anyway, because like, are we all supposed to come out straight too? Like, that doesn't make sense to me.
Okay.
So I don't even feel like that conversation is needed. And like, so I feel like some people like to have that conversation, makes them feel better, but me, I don't really think it's necessary. And two, I mean, if she put me in a position to not let myself be happy and to make me choose all the time, it would just make me miserable. So I just let her do
She
that.
probably is miserable. I don't care. But I want to She is miserable. I don't give a fuck. But I do want to say something.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not miserable. But when there's hard decisions,
Yeah.
I always am going to pick her. Always. That's my mom.
Yeah.
But it does sometimes like, well, you can't come, babe. Sorry. It sucks. So,
Babe, it sucks so much. I do want to say one thing though. Coming out is the phrase that is used only because there is unfortunately a societal norm, right? So nobody has to come out and say they're straight because the societal norm is everybody is, right? That's why they have that phrase. I know you think it's weird, but it's like I have to let everybody know I'm going against what y'all
Against the grain.
against the grain, what y'all in society want. I think that's the reason why that
I
phrase
think
is
it's a
used.
generation thing for sure.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah.
Growing up in this household, do you have that same approach?
I don't feel like if I was to date a woman, I don't feel like I'd sit down and be like, look, mom, we're gonna have this long, lengthy conversation. I feel like I'd just be like, hi, here's
so and so.
You just pop up with the woman.
Right. And do you think and do you think that's because your mom comes from a space that is completely polar opposite of me? So you're comfortable doing that?
I think I'm comfortable having other people be uncomfortable.
She is. I admire that about her is that she puts herself first, but it also gets on my fucking nerves.
I mean,
When it just be like,
I'm just Kandi now. That's
yeah, she does
mirror
the same
image.
thing, so she understands.
I don't think I always do that. Not always. I think she be getting mad at me because sometimes I'll be like, you'll be all right.
You know what I mean? So she won't care. So it's like, why do I have to care if she doesn't care either? Because I think we're both going to prioritize our own happiness. So it's like, when you do that.
I mean,
You want to prioritize your
I make sure my kids are good.
Yeah, give me out the whole family. Tell everybody cut me off.
That's
I think
crazy.
that people do have to prioritize themselves somewhat because at the end of the day, you don't want to go through your whole life sitting there like, I had to tiptoe around my whole entire life. You know what I mean? You want to, not be afraid to have hard conversations and just be like, okay, you're going to be all right. This is what it is.
That's not even a hard
That's
conversation.
what
That's a
you
sentence.
I've never thought to do that, but maybe I just gotta put my foot down one day. And say, listen, you gonna be all right, right? That's what you said. You gonna be all
We're
right.
going to be all right. We're going to get past it.
Whew. All right, you guys. So this is what Tammy and her daughter got into over there on Kandi show. Now, I have a few things that I want to say. The first thing I want to get out is the fact that Tammy, you wrong as fuck. You're wrong as hell. Talking about some confirmation bias because your daughter thinks like you. Not only does she think like you, she's attracted to what you're attracted to, right? And you say you support your daughter being, I feel like she has in the past. I think she may have said, let me not put that in her mouth. I would think that she supports her daughter being, homosexual, but it seems like she supports her oldest daughter being more heterosexual. And I kind of wonder, Tammy, I think that you raised some really great daughters, but are you more proud of the oldest one than you are of the youngest one? Because I don't know. Like, of course, the oldest one went on to go do law school and stuff like that. I think she graduated from law school, right? Whereas the youngest may not have always followed things how you wanted her to follow them. I mean, Jazz does kind of get me slightly rebellious, but loyal all at the same time. And Tammy, I do feel like you contradicted yourself when you said that, you want to see whether or not a relationship actually is going to work and whether it's going to last before they come around you. But you just said that your daughter can bring her boyfriends or her boyfriend or whatever it is to her graduation. And I don't think that's fair for you to be a woman that is divorced to say, let me see if the relationship is actually going to last. Like, your divorce didn't even last. And that is no disrespect or shade at all. But I'm saying that for you to know you've been in many relationships in life and you could be with a person 5 years and it doesn't mean you're going to be with them another 5. Like, that is just how it is. And you don't know how this young lady supported your daughter while she was in school. You don't know the ways that she may have supported her. So, and kept her up mentally for you to just decline her the opportunity to even be at the graduation. And it makes me question, could it be something deeper? Could it be a situation where maybe persuasion wasn't as helpful mentally to her daughter? Maybe she has done some things that may have made her be like, hey, I don't want you here. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust you, whatever the case is. But I will say persuasion seems to be in a much better place, in a much healthier place, it appears, since she's gotten with Jazz. I know I saw a post of her the other day where she was like, I'm talking about bones, y'all. I don't know if this woman was sick or what was going on, but she gained all that weight back. She looks much more healthier. She seems like she's in a happier place. So they might be helping each other out mentally. And I hate it for Jazz because Jazz feels like, I can't turn against my mom or I'm going to be put out the family. And it's like, baby girl, you're an adult now. You're heavily accountable for yourself. I'm sure your mama look out for you here and there. And shout out to the mamas that still do, because they're going to always be their babies. But at the same time, you have to live your life. Her parents aren't dictating, I think her mom may have passed, Tammy's mom, so rest her soul. But when she was here, I'm sure she wasn't heavily dictating and telling you who can or cannot come around. I just don't think it's right. And at some point, whether we agree with our kids' decisions or not, we got to grow up and let them be their own person. Now, granted, there are some things you do not have to approve of, but if she went to college, I think it's totally okay for that girl to attend the graduation. But I do feel like there are a lot of parents out here like Tammy, where it's like, I paid for your college education, not that BIT, and I get to make a decision on who gonna be here and who ain't. The ticket's already limited. So if you ask me, that hoe is not on the priority list. Now, if it was like that, then I would understand it more. Okay. Like, yeah, like we're gonna bring closer family that was around that's gonna be on the priority list, not your girlfriend, not your boyfriend. But I would be fair with both of my kids. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was just a little disappointed because I thought that Tammy really supported the relationship. I do recall a time where she was a bit hesitant because I think it was persuasion. But I didn't think it was because her daughter was gay. I thought it was because it was persuasion. And, you know, persuasion being on TV, she hasn't always had the best rep. But some of the girls that have taken steps back from reality TV have been able to go and get their mental together, right? But I don't know. I didn't like how Tammy showed up. Even Kandi was looking at her crazy, like, girl, is you cool? Okay. And y'all know Kandi is very open about being a person, being an ally, being a person that has, you know, dabbled and participated in that community as well. So it's like, girl, are you okay? We are in a different century now. Like, grow up. Okay? But y'all leave y'all thoughts and comments down below, honey. That's all I got. Of course, I'm Jamie. That's me. Y'all know I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.
Yeah, tell him I preach to the choir. Stand with my feet to the fire. Give all the glory to God. Stand in the midst of these haters, I'm silent, nobody can stop me. Just gotta check in my notification, them numbers hit like it's a proxy. Cashed out at the ATM, and the ATL, they done made a gym. I've been kicking doors like the ATF, got them trying to clone me like Agent Smith. Game time, I invaded gym, high elevated, I can face the rim. Putting shots up, I got laser focus, about to take it over, I'm Invader Zim. On a trip to Florida like it's A&M. Who that nigga, man, they say I'm him. Spit the truth, never wasting film, I can fill a pool, we gon' make them swim.